Got to give big ups to the motherland on this one. Yes, the UK just rolling back more restrictions because thank God Boris Johnson got caught with his pants down at that Christmas party a couple years ago. But England halts vaccine mandates for health and care. Health and care? Healthcare and care home workers. How about that one? That makes a little bit more sense. Okay, you guys are weird. There's just a little bit on this because we got a whole bunch of receding mandates and restrictions that are just happening literally everywhere because these tyrants' grip on the power that they seized under their emergency powers ever so long ago at this point just seems to be dwindling. You love to see it. Like it says here, England's Coof vaccine mandates for healthcare and care home workers are set to be scrapped subject to consultation and parliamentary approval, which they'll get if they were brought forth by Sajid Javid, the UK Health Secretary Minister. And listen, there's like 300 members of Parliament in the House of Commons for the Conservatives in the UK. It's going to pass, okay? So it's dead and done. It's finally fucking over. The latest government U-term came just 3 days before the deadline by which national healthcare services and other healthcare workers would have to get their first doses to avoid redeployment or termination. You'll love to see it. The deadline will no longer apply while the government carries out its 2-week consultation on the proposed policy reversal before putting a motion to Parliament for approval. However, the vote in Parliament could be a formality as the main opposition Labour Party, which supported the mandates themselves, said it would also support the government on the reverse. What the fuck? Even the Labour Party joining in? And that's like, listen, we tried, but we know how much we can get away with, so we'll be able to just pick this up exactly where we left it off with. Oh yeah, we've been taking notes. So it's good. It's good. I'm finally feeling optimistic. I thought 2022 would be a year of fight and a year of struggle. It's kicked off early, and it looks like it's paying off, which is good. I'm just waiting for the sky to fall a little bit, but it's spreading out there. Okay, so we got the UK, and it looks like this whole movement of freedom, which really, to be fair, kind of gestated in the northern European states. It looks like it's even just spreading out further as well. Finland Prime Minister Sanna Marin, who's 37 years old and not that bad, it's not that bad on the eyes, announced the country will be lifting all COVID-19 restrictions by mid-February, coming as several European countries have moved to ease pandemic rules in recent days. But what about my Omicron? What about my subvariant? Oh, okay, cool. Everybody's done with this shit. Marin told reporters Monday that some COVID-19 controls would start to ease this week, starting February 1st. That's today, including restrictions on restaurants and sports facilities, according to Finnish news website YLE. I don't care what that stands for, but couldn't read it anyways. Marin said the lifting of restrictions should be done in a gradual manner. No, just do this. Like I said, turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. It's all good. You just turn on the lights. Everything will be fine. Arguing the COVID-19 pandemic is still placing a relatively high burden on hospital resources. Really? You want to cite those numbers that are out there? Cases falling, deaths falling. Actually, they never rose with Omicron, really, in proportion. Because we'll take a look at one specific country out there that's unfortunately making some very detrimental discoveries to the cause, trademark. But even still, just reading that back, it's like, oh yeah, it's still placing a relatively high burden. That word relatively does a lot of lifting in that statement on hospital resources. That's why I want to give them up as soon as possible during the event with reporters reported by Helsinki Times, and that's nice. And sweetie, you don't need that mask, okay? I did a couple of image searches out there just for completion's sake, okay? I want to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence, okay? You ain't hiding no Molina grill under there, okay? It's all good. You can go back to normal, sweetheart, okay? Finland is joining the United Kingdom, Denmark, and Ireland, which have all announced they will be either relaxing or scrapping Coof restrictions such as mask mandates or COVID-19 vaccine passports. You love to fucking see it. No one can know what will happen next December. Wait a minute, but we promise the citizens of Denmark that we will only have restrictions if they are truly necessary, and we will lift them as soon as possible. Denmark Health Minister Magnus Henkel told CNN Monday. That whole nobody knows what will happen next year, and the fact that this could be just a seasonal masks work in the winter time gimmick. Keep note of that name, Magnus Hanuki, if you're in Denmark, okay, and make sure he doesn't get reelected. That's what's happening right now. And then how about more localized? It depends on where you're at least to me. Okay, this is a little bit closer. We finally have our first university, at least the first one that crossed my mind. Not really crossed my mind, crossed my desk. Let's just go ahead with that one. Virginia Tech, okay, a place that knows a thing or two about shots. Too soon? Don't care. Drops COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Yep. Virginia Tech University on Monday announced that it will no longer require Coof vaccines for students coming after the state's new Attorney General, Jason Miyares, penned a legal opinion saying colleges cannot mandate the shots. And they're like, oh, fuck, they figured out that it's actually not legally binding, that we're just forcing people to do stuff that's not necessarily legal or not. Really does suck to suck, but that's just another one of those great things that's happening from that trifecta of new Republicans that have come into Virginia at the beginning of the year. Youngkin, forgive me, the lieutenant governor as well. Winsome Sears. There you go. Remembered her name. It is Black History Month after all. And then Miyares. Obviously, straight white man, right? Especially with that name right there. Virginia Tech will no longer require students to be vaccinated as a condition of enrollment or in-person instruction, effective immediately. Yay! See how easily these restrictions got rescinded? Just with a simple statement. Virginia Tech President Tim Sands said in a letter obtained by the Epoch Times, federal regulation may still require students who work in specific settings to be vaccinated. Federal regulations, you know, the ones that were bitched out by the courts at literally every level, you know, those ones that aren't in effect anywhere, they could, but hey, man, at least here, you know what, hey, we're all pro-choice. Yeah, your body, your choice, right, pal? Yeah, exactly. We've always been about that. Don't mind the past 18 months. Fuck every single one of these people, because we're going to be going on a revenge tour once all this shit is fucking over. But like I said, we got to focus specifically on one country out there, and I got to take a look, because this is obviously going to be maybe a little bit fucked. I'm going to try my best, because we got the WHO on this one. Yeah, it's just going to fucking zoom out regardless. So, just take my word for it. This is the WHO. Oh, it says here, yeah, reported by WHO. You guys can kind of see that. But, what's more important is this is the only place that I can find reliably that has the Japanese numbers and shit. But this is Japan. Okay, they've been going through, like, literally during the summer, or I'm sorry, during the winter, they were one of the places where it's like, literally, we have no cases over here. Everything are fine. I was like, that's sweet. And then all of a sudden, at the beginning of the new year, oh my God, Omicron made landfall, and they were hopping up 100,000s of cases. All of a sudden, oh my God, they were up 312% in the week of January 10th, and then they're up 180% again on that, and then for the week of January 24, they're up another 72% with a weekly increase of 195,000 cases, and then even as just slow tallying so far this week, it looks like they're probably on pace to be down from last week, but whatever, that's totally whatever. Just don't mind that, okay? But then good, we can even just see here, we can compare and contrast from earlier before. Oh my God, when probably my Delta was just running wild, right, brother? And then cases, they were oh so high, and then deaths would correspond with that. Obviously, this is on the scale that we're dealing with here. These numbers, these waves look big and scary and all that stuff, but the top, they're all measured in hundreds of thousands of cases on the graph here, so the little bumps look a little bit deceiving. And then you take a look at the bottom, and then they're all measured in hundreds. Not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds, by the way. But even just as visual representation of things, you have, okay, big increase, okay? The biggest increase that's out there, despite, rather without taking into context or noting what is currently going on, okay? It's the biggest bump that's been out there, but yet you take a look at the deaths, and yeah, they're offset a little bit because people don't just get sick and drop dead the next day. It happens, but that's not the popular happenings, obviously. But does any of this really coincide? Because it really looks like, yeah, okay, deaths were a big thing when cases were relatively larger, okay? And then, yeah, it just started to taper off, and I really wish you guys could see this stuff off to the side, because boy, is it fucking pathetic when you have all of these hundreds of thousands of cases, more than they've ever had before, and nobody's dying. In contrast, okay, like your percentages are completely fucked on this one, so they're really looking like they're at the end of this one, and just figuring out what the fuck we can do with case management, okay, because obviously you don't want people to get sick, okay, but if this is what's going to happen, if people are going to test positive, but he can continue to vaccinate people because apparently they've administered 202 million jabs specifically in Japan, but yet cases continue to go through the roof. But it looks like deaths and hospitalizations, everything's fine. Maybe they're looking for a way to mitigate the very severe responses. Maybe they have some firms out there doing some research. Maybe they're just trying to get to the bottom of this. Maybe they're just realizing that all their fear-mongering is going to be for naught, and maybe they had something that could be helpful under their nose the entire time. Yeah, it looks like they're coming to this stark realization, and I'm not out here to make any claims. I just want to read this basically verbatim because I think it's good information that should be out there. That's not mine. It's not my research. Fuck if I could be bothered about doing actual research, in like labs and shit. I just look for the stories and present them to you guys that are out there. So, am I a medical professional? Of course not. I'm just a news junkie and an asshole with a microphone and a webcam and a background. A couple of movie posters. But outside of that, apparently, according to a Japanese pharma firm, so this is coming from their version of Big Pharma, okay? They're starting to realize that, oh my god, my horse paste, ivermectin shows antiviral effect against Omicron. Oh, huh. Okay. Japanese conglomerate that is studying the antiparasitic drug ivermectin has found that the medication had an antiviral effect on Omicron, according to joint non-clinical research. But it's close. It's to the start. It's almost like an emergency use authorization on research. Kowa Company Limited, a conglomerate with interest in trading, hospitality, and electronics. Strange mix of companies, okay? Do you have a minority share in like the Nippon Professional Baseball League? Like, what the fuck are you guys doing over there? It's crazy. Along with health and medical applications, issued a press release on January 31st stating that ivermectin has been found to be effective against Omicron in vitro studies. The firm is also in the process of carrying out a phase 3 clinical trial on the use of ivermectin to treat COVID-19 patients, though the company remarks on effectiveness pertain to the findings of lab-based research. If you need any clarifications on that, there's the article. Okay, there's a screenshot of the article. You can go ahead and take it right now. It's right there on your screen, just in case you need any clarification. That's their words. Those aren't mine. I haven't seen the numbers. They're just conducting the research. Kowa representatives didn't respond to requests for comment by press time. Company working with Kitasato University based in Tokyo said that ivermectin has the same antiviral effect on all mutant strains, including Alpha, Delta, and Omicron. But what about Beta? Kowa added that ivermectin suppresses invasion of the virus and inhibits its replication, according to their studies. Very interesting. My mind is racing 1,000 miles an hour about things I'd like to say on top of that, but I want to make sure that this information stays out there. Ivermectin is expected to be applied as a therapeutic drug, a tablet, but what about the paste? For all new coronavirus infectious diseases. Ivermectin has been used by the World Health Organization for over 30 years to treat parasitic infections. Volunteers have distributed the drug in African countries, where it has been found to be extremely effective, said the Kawa report. However, the treatment has been mired in controversy during recent times, as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has not approved the use of ivermectin as a treatment for COVID-19, even though the drug is used in humans to treat a variety of conditions. The FDA has refused to respond to a Freedom of Information Act request asking for details about any reports of side effects related to the use of ivermectin for treating COVID-19 while publicly denouncing its usage. And that's about where and about as far as I want to go in any of the reporting, mostly because I just, like I said, want to keep this stuff up. But again, if they would just, take questions on this, okay, there would be a hell of a lot more trust in what these people are pushing for. Government types, okay, your mandate types, the people telling you that just take the jab, it's safe and effective, don't look anywhere else, that's the only way that we're going to get through this. Mass vaccination, that's the only way, it's safe and effective, okay, don't look anywhere else. Don't worry about treatments. If you get it, if you're all jabbed up, you're going to be fine. It took them forever to get around about monoclonal antibodies. It took them forever to be discussing any sort of alternative treatments outside of just the conspiratorial side of my mind that just tells me to follow the money on this. I really don't see any downside when it comes to just using this stuff in specific trial settings. Like nothing, just researching it, getting to the bottom of it. I don't see what the problem is, okay? Things work for certain applications that they weren't necessarily intended for, but they end up working. That seems like just a marvel of modern science. It doesn't seem like it's a bad thing. Okay, you should be lauded for this discovery instead of pilloried for it, instead of just cast off the globe, okay, ostracized from society from discovering something that could potentially save a lot of people, that could potentially lessen the suffering of people that's out there. That should be something that should be applauded, not castigated. But that's just my opinion on this. I think it seems to be pretty measured, and I'm just trying to figure this out because none of it really makes sense. I don't want to think the world is as malevolent as I think it is, but maybe the simplest answer is the correct one. Occam's razor in action. But let's just do a complete 100% tone change. And I know we've been talking a lot about pop culture shit recently, but we got one that's a big old whoopsie. It's literally, as it involves a big old whoopsie. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.